Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Today's message is inspired by a really beautiful post from my friend Catherine Avery, and I'm going to link to that post for you. If I would encourage you to read the whole thing because it's lovely and it very hope filled. But Catherine reminded us in that post that hope doesn't always announce itself with the big bold energy. She shared in her post that this season of life looks different for her. And she feels like, the world is speeding up and she is choosing to move more slowly. She's experienced the loss of her mother-in-law and just the wave of emotions and grief that come with that is unexpected. Things just don't happen in a linear way. And, she's giving herself the space to just let herself be. So instead of pushing into holiday mode, Catherine reminds us that the season can be simpler and softer and more spacious. And there's hope in that choice because hope isn't about believing things will get better. Hope is also what gives us permission to do things differently right now, to simplify, to honor what we're carrying, feel what we're feeling, to celebrate in ways that feel true rather than expected. I recently had to move my mom to a place where she could get some more support. It wasn't completely unexpected, but I hadn't planned for this to happen before the holidays either. So, I'll be able to still spend Christmas with her and with other family members, but it's not going to be the same. Now, that's okay. Even with a bit of nostalgia for Christmas past, things do change and it's okay that that happens. It reminded me, though, of the Buddhist saying about attachment being the source of suffering. Right? When we get really dug in and think that the holidays, for example, have to be celebrated in a very specific way, or we have to adhere to a tradition, and it just isn't fitting us anymore, that's, I think, where anxiety comes from. And I think that can be the nudge that it's just time to reevaluate. Hope invites us to choose calm over chaos and presence over pressure. It reminds us that it's more important to be than to do. So if this season feels tender or hard or difficult for you, I hope that you'll let hope remind you that you're allowed to pause, you're allowed to shift, you're allowed to let this holiday look different and feel different. And sometimes a gentle shift is the most hopeful act of all. And thank you to Catherine for sharing that. This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.